Okay guys, so I guess I gotta get this video out relatively soon. Jesus Christ, thank you for telling me that you were there. Anyways, so just a few minutes ago, probably like an hour since this video is coming out, Hunter Biden has just been put up for contempt. The Judiciary Committee has resolved that he should be put up to a vote of contempt. Which means that, first of all, the committee has to approve a contempt hearing, and then it goes to the whole of the House, and then the House determines whether or not he'll be held in contempt. So the vote was 23 to 14. And so you're aware, there are two leaders of the committee, one Republican, which is Jim Jordan, and the other is Democrat, which is Nader. Nader? The big heavy dude, the round dude. There are then 23 other Republicans in the committee, and there's 19 other Democrats in the committee, for a total of 44 members. So 23 to 14 means that seven of the members either weren't there, didn't vote, or simply called present. So we don't know who actually voted to hold Hunter Biden in contempt, but it shows once again how hypocritical the Democrats are. And the hilarious thing is they're using the wrap-up smear again to claim that Republicans are the ones being hypocrites. Don't know how, but I'll explain it the best I can. So, from the Republican point of view, the Democrats are being hypocrites because they held guys like Steve Bannon in contempt for like January 6th for refusing a subpoena, despite the fact that not only was he not there, he did not call for people to go into the Capitol building. And they held him in contempt and tried to have him thrown in jail for it. Meanwhile, Hunter Biden decides to hold Congress in contempt, and the Democrats all unanimously, seemingly, some of them might have abstained or simply didn't even bother to show up, to not hold him in contempt. Which means it was a partisan vote, from what it seems like. Now, we haven't gotten the list of who voted what way and who was actually there or not. But the absolute gall of Hunter Biden is he wanted to have, I believe he wanted to have a closed door meeting with the Republicans when he was subpoenaed, and the Republicans were like, no, it's going to be public, and then he refused it, and he left, making a speech out in front of the Capitol. Well, now, he crashed the party, worked his way into the chamber, or at least into the Capitol, when the vote was being held, not long before the vote was being held. The dude's not in Congress. You can't just go into the Capitol building. And I know the irony of that, but like, when January 6th happened, it's like double hypocritical. When January 6th happened, I was like, well, that's not great that happened. Like, I didn't approve of it then. I thought it was kind of I want to say funny, but that's not really the word. Because I had said basically in a YouTube comment, it's like, hey, if 1 million people marched onto the Capitol building and just pressed up against the doors, what would actually keep them from getting into the building? And someone called me crazy on that YouTube video, and I came back after January 6th, and I'm just like, yeah, what now, idiot? But it's like, after everything we learned that day about it, it's just absolutely ridiculous that the Democrats or the Capitol Police unlocked the doors and let them go into the building and then charge them with trespass. So that would mean that literally right now, did Hunter Biden go into the Capitol building? Did he storm the building? Did the Capitol Police let him in? Because if true, he can be charged with trespass because he's not a member of Congress. Despite the fact that Democrats keep saying that, oh, his crimes don't matter because he's not on the ballot. It doesn't reflect on Joe Biden because last we checked, Hunter Biden's not on the ballot. But he literally just went into the Capitol building to make fun of them, basically, about the fact that he had just denied a subpoena, which the Democrats tried to arrest people for. So, Democrats are being double hypocrites with this, and it's just absolutely insane to me that, like, anyone buys any of their bullshit right now. Meanwhile, they're calling Republicans hypocrites because supposedly Jim Jordan and a few of the other congressmen denied subpoenas themselves, subpoenas given to them by Congress. Like, you know, the whole reason for subpoena in the first place is for people to give testimony to Congress. So Congress gave Congress subpoenas to give testimony. You could literally just walk to his office. Like, Jim Jordan has an office in the building. If you want to get some statements from him, just go to his office. You don't have to subpoena the guy. You're like subpoena. You're giving a subpoena to a member of Congress to testify in front of Congress, which doesn't make sense on so many levels. But not only that, if you wanted to hold a congressman in contempt of Congress, you could do that simply by putting them up to be expelled from Congress. And they didn't do that. So they literally let the congressman supposedly get away with it just to use it as ammunition later on. Which I don't have to explain how stupid all of that is. Like, generally when you think about a subpoena, you're thinking about Congress subpoenas somebody who lives halfway across the country and basically tells them, hey, we want to talk to you. You're going to fly out here and talk to us or we're going to get you in trouble. Whereas Jim Jordan, you subpoena him so that he can walk 100 feet from his office into the chamber so you can ask him questions in public? Okay. What? Congress doesn't interrogate Congress members. I just want everyone to be aware of that. Like, generally, a congressman is not a witness for a committee hearing. That's not how that usually works. They would usually put the congressman on the committee and ask pointed questions to an actual witness. So it's all kinds of messed up, the kind of bullshit they're trying to pull right now. And it's like, okay, so supposedly Jordan denied a subpoena as well as 4 other congressmen, despite the fact that Jordan is the head of the Judiciary Committee. And Republicans helped Democrats to kick out George Santos. So if you really cared about it, if you really cared about Jim Jordan and the other Republicans from denying subpoenas, wouldn't a lot of the Republicans who saw that as a crime vote with Democrats to vote out those Republicans? Because a lot of Republicans voted with the Democrats to kick out George Santos. So if the Republicans have a higher standard, they have a higher standard than Democrats in terms of voting out their own members and holding them to account. If Jim Jordan had actually done anything wrong, then holding him in contempt and expelling him should have been child's play for the Democrats, because a lot of Republicans would switch sides to expel Jim Jordan like they did to expel George Santos, supposing that what Jim Jordan had actually done violated the law. Which apparently Democrats weren't very confident in that argument. Whereas for Jim Jordan, if they wanted his testimony or a statement, they can literally just walk the 100 feet to his office. Because he's a pretty important guy. He's got a central office. A pretty posh one, probably. He was almost Speaker of the House. Like, you could just talk to him like a human being. Go talk to your colleague in his office like any rational co-worker would. Whereas Jim Jordan, as far as I'm aware, has not been charged with anything. He hasn't been indicted. Whereas Hunter Biden has been indicted with crimes. And they were trying to hold him to account for crimes. Now, he hasn't been indicted for anything regarding his business dealings, not yet. But that's also because the DOJ is literally controlled by his father. Which isn't saying that much. I mean, really, come on. There's obvious bias there. It's ridiculous, man. Anyways, I'm getting some food. Just Democrats are being hypocrites and falsely accusing Republicans of being hypocrites.
Hi, how are